The notification buzzed on my phone late one evening as I sat in the dimly lit kitchen, sipping lukewarm coffee while balancing spreadsheets for work. It was a typical night. Exhaustion clung to me like a second skin, but duty kept me upright. The text came from my younger sister, Patricia, a woman who had always been more critical than supportive. Attached to her message was a video clip. My heart sank before I even pressed play. Patricia wasn't the type to send anything positive about me or my life choices. Still, curiosity got the better of me, and I tapped the screen. The footage opened with laughter. Harsh, mocking laughter that made my stomach twist. In the frame stood my 19-year-old daughter, Emily, surrounded by her friends at some party. She held a glass of what looked like soda, though knowing her crowd, it could have been something stronger, and wore an expression I didn't recognize: disdain. "Mom," she said loudly, drawing out the word with exaggerated mockery. "Can you believe this woman? All she does is complain about how hard her life is while working 2 crappy jobs. Like, hello, we're living comfortably because I asked her to buy everything I wanted." Laughter erupted around her again, and someone off-camera cheered. Emily continued, leaning closer to whoever was recording. "But seriously, though, has she ever accomplished anything? No career, no goals, no ambition. Just pathetic." Her voice dripped with contempt. "She thinks she's doing us all a favor by busting her ass every day, but honestly, what a loser." The camera panned back slightly, capturing Emily taking another sip of her drink before tossing her hair over her shoulder. "Anyway, shout out to moms who actually succeed in life, right?" The video ended abruptly, leaving behind only the echo of their cruel laughter in my ears. My hands trembled as I set the phone down on the table. The room felt colder suddenly, despite the warmth emanating from the laptop beside me. Tears pricked my eyes, but I blinked them away furiously. Crying wouldn't fix this, it never did. For years, I'd sacrificed everything for Emily. Long hours at the diner during the day, followed by cleaning offices at night. Every dollar earned went toward keeping her happy. Designer clothes, private school tuition, dance lessons, vacations. And yet here she was, ridiculing me in front of strangers, treating my efforts as if they were worthless. Patricia's accompanying text read, "Thought you should see this. Maybe now you'll stop spoiling her." I stared at the glowing screen, anger bubbling beneath the surface. Spoiling her? That wasn't what I was doing. I was trying to give her opportunities I'd never had. But clearly, none of that mattered to her anymore. Instead of responding, I took a deep breath and closed the app. There would be time to deal with Patricia later. For now, I needed to focus on what came next. Because after years of bending over backward to please everyone else, I decided it was time to take control of my own narrative. And Emily? Well, she was about to get the surprise of her life. The days following the video were excruciating. Every interaction with Emily felt strained, though she seemed oblivious to my internal turmoil. She breezed through the house, chatting animatedly about college applications, parties, and shopping sprees, all things I had funded without hesitation. Meanwhile, I forced myself to maintain a neutral facade, pretending nothing was wrong. Inside, however, resentment simmered. How could she dismiss my sacrifices so casually? Did she truly believe I enjoyed scrubbing toilets and serving customers just to hear her call me a failure? It wasn't until Friday evening, after finishing a grueling double shift, that I reached my breaking point. Exhaustion weighed heavily on me as I trudged into the house, only to find Emily sprawled across the couch scrolling through social media. Her headphones were in, and she barely acknowledged my presence. "Hey," I said, dropping my bag by the door. "How was your day?" She shrugged, not looking up. "Fine. Any updates on those college applications?" I prodded gently, hoping to spark a conversation. Again, she shrugged. "Not really. You know, it's not like I'm going to get into Harvard anyway. Why bother stressing about it?" Her indifference stung. Not because I expected perfection from her, but because she refused to even try. Here I was, pouring every ounce of energy into giving her a better future, and she acted as though it was all meaningless. Something inside me snapped. "Do you even realize how much effort goes into paying for your lifestyle?" asked, my voice sharper than intended. Do you think money just appears out of thin air? Finally, she glanced up, irritation flashing in her eyes. What are you talking about? You're the one who insists on buying me stuff. Don't act like I forced you. That's not the point. I snapped, surprising both of us with the intensity of my tone. The point is, I've worked myself to the bone to give you opportunities. Opportunities you don't seem to appreciate. Emily rolled her eyes dramatically. Oh, here we go. Poor mommy works so hard. Boo-hoo. Her sarcasm ignited a fire within me. For years, I'd swallowed my pride, silenced my frustrations, and prioritized her needs above my own. But this blatant disregard for everything I'd done, was too much. You know what? I said, stepping closer. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am pathetic. But guess what, Emily? Starting next week, you're going to understand exactly what being pathetic feels like. Her smirk faltered. What are you talking about? I smiled coldly. You'll see. That weekend, I called Patricia. As much as I disliked her meddling, she inadvertently provided the ammunition I needed to execute my plan. During our tense phone call, she reiterated her stance. You let her walk all over you, Claire. She doesn't respect you because she knows you'll cave every time. Thanks for the advice, I replied dryly. But I've got this under control. By Sunday evening, I had drafted a detailed strategy. First, I contacted my accountant and instructed him to freeze all joint accounts linked to Emily's expenses. Next, I arranged for a locksmith to change the locks on her home. Finally, I booked a storage unit where I planned to stash most of Emily's belongings, everything except essentials like clothing and toiletries. On Monday morning, I woke up earlier than usual and began packing. Each item I placed into boxes felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. Designer dresses, high-end gadgets, expensive jewelry, all symbols of her entitlement, were boxed up and labeled. By the time Emily returned from school that afternoon, the transformation was complete. She walked in, immediately noticing the changes. Where's my stuff? She demanded, panic creeping into her voice. In storage, I replied calmly. Starting today, you're learning the value of hard work. What are you talking about? She shrieked. You can't do this. Oh, but I can, I countered. Because effective immediately, you're cut off. No allowance, no credit cards, no free rides. If you want something, you'll have to earn it. Her face turned red with fury. This is insane. You're ruining my life. No, sweetheart, I said firmly. I'm saving it. Over the next few days, I introduced Emily to her new reality. Gone were the days of chauffeur services and catered meals. Instead, I handed her a list of chores, a part-time job application, and a budget spreadsheet outlining household expenses. At first, she resisted vehemently. She stormed out of the house multiple times, slamming doors and shouting insults. Friends stopped by to plead on her behalf, claiming I was being too harsh. Even Patricia weighed in, accusing me of punishing Emily unnecessarily. But I remained steadfast. Deep down, I knew this wasn't punishment, it was intervention. Emily needed to learn responsibility, humility, and gratitude. And if that meant enduring tantrums and tears along the way, so be it. To my surprise, she eventually relented. Reluctantly, she started completing her assigned tasks around the house and secured a minimum-wage job at a local cafe. At first, she treated these responsibilities with disdain, complaining constantly about how unfair life was. But slowly, something shifted. One evening, as we prepared dinner together, a task she initially despised, she muttered, "This isn't so bad, I guess." I hid a smile, focusing instead on chopping vegetables. Glad to hear it. Months passed, and Emily transformed before my eyes. The once entitled teenager became a young woman capable of managing her finances, maintaining relationships, and pursuing meaningful goals. She applied herself to her studies, secured scholarships for community college, and even expressed interest in starting her own business someday. During this period, I also rediscovered parts of myself I'd long neglected. With fewer financial burdens weighing me down, I enrolled in online courses to pursue a degree in business administration. Nights spent juggling spreadsheets turned into evenings studying marketing strategies and entrepreneurial principles. For the first time in years, I felt hopeful about my future, not just hers. Then came the ultimate test, Emily's 20th birthday. Traditionally, I would have thrown her an elaborate party, complete with decorations, gifts, and catering. This year, however, I opted for something different. On the morning of her birthday, I presented her with an envelope containing 3 items: a letter, a check, and a key. The letter explains everything, I told her. Read it first. She hesitated, then opened the envelope. As she scanned the contents, her eyes widened in disbelief. The letter read, "Dear Emily, today marks a new chapter in your life, one built on growth, resilience, and independence. Over the past several months, you've proven that you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. To celebrate this milestone, I've prepared 3 gifts for you. First, the check represents 6 months of rent for a small apartment near campus. It's time for you to experience living on your own terms, making decisions, and embracing accountability. Second, the key unlocks the storage unit where I stored your belongings. While material possessions shouldn't define you, they're yours to reclaim if you choose. Lastly, and most importantly, I want to apologize. For years, I enabled behaviors that hindered your growth. By shielding you from challenges, I robbed you of opportunities to learn and thrive. Please know that my actions stemmed from love, albeit misguided. As you step into adulthood, remember this. Success isn't measured by wealth or accolades. It's defined by character, perseverance, and kindness. I'm proud of the person you're becoming, and I'll always support you, as long as you continue striving to be your best self. With love,
Mom.
Tears streamed down Emily's face as she finished reading. Without a word, she threw her arms around me, sobbing into my shoulder. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. I hugged her tightly, feeling a weight lift from my chest. Forgiveness wasn't immediate, nor was healing. But in that moment, we both took a step toward rebuilding our relationship, one rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Looking back, I realized the greatest gift I gave Emily wasn't freedom or independence, it was perspective. Through adversity, she discovered strengths she didn't know she possessed. And in letting go of control, I found peace I hadn't experienced in decades. Life isn't perfect, and neither are we. But sometimes, the hardest lessons yield the most profound transformations. For Emily and me, this journey wasn't just about overcoming conflict, it was about rediscovering each other. And as I watched her pack her bags for her new apartment, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead, I couldn't help but smile. Together, we'd weathered the storm and emerged stronger than ever.